The world stage has been incredibly active recently, with significant shifts in global dynamics, economic policies, and international relations unfolding daily. It is easy to get lost in the constant stream of information. Today, we are zeroing in on a specific development that impacts millions: the ability to travel to the United States without the traditional visa hurdles. Are you utterly exhausted by the mountain of forms, the long waits for embassy appointments, and the anxiety surrounding potential visa denials, all just for a trip to the United States? Imagine navigating this complex process, gathering documents, attending interviews, only to face rejection. It is a frustrating reality for many aspiring travelers around the globe. This bureaucratic maze can deter tourists, business professionals, and families alike, making visits seem almost unattainable. The sheer volume of paperwork, the specific requirements that can change with little notice, and the often opaque reasons behind visa decisions contribute to a system perceived by many as daunting and arbitrary. The financial cost associated with applications, coupled with the time investment, adds another layer of burden. For individuals from countries not part of the privileged visa-free access group, planning a trip involves significant foresight, patience, and often a considerable amount of stress, wondering if their application will ultimately be successful or if their travel plans will be abruptly halted by a stamp of denial. This stark contrast highlights the significant advantage held by citizens of certain nations. But consider this alternative scenario. What if I revealed that citizens from a select group of countries bypass this entire ordeal, legally, smoothly, without needing a standard visa? Picture this: no consulate interviews, no lengthy processing times, just a relatively straightforward online authorization, and they are cleared for entry into the U.S. These travelers experience a vastly different journey, one characterized by efficiency and reduced anxiety. The system they utilize, the Visa Waiver Program, facilitated by the Electronic System for Travel Authorization, commonly known as ESTA, represents a streamlined path for short-term visits, typically up to 90 days, for tourism or business purposes. This expedited process is not granted lightly. It is built on a foundation of deep trust and rigorous security cooperation between the United States and the participating nations. The question naturally arises: why do these specific travelers receive what amounts to a VIP pass, while countless others must navigate the bureaucratic labyrinth, facing uncertainty and potential disappointment? What factors determine eligibility for this exclusive access, and how did these countries earn such a significant privilege in the complex world of international travel regulations? Understanding this disparity is key to grasping the nuances of global mobility and diplomatic relations. Please make sure to watch this video until the very end, as we will be summarizing the key takeaways and providing conclusive thoughts on this evolving situation. So, what dictates this preferential treatment? Why do individuals from certain nations get the equivalent of an express lane into the United States, while others face a complex obstacle course? Is the underlying reason rooted in intricate political alliances, shaped by decades of shared history and strategic interests? Or perhaps it is a matter of economic strength, where robust trade relationships and significant investment flows create a compelling case for facilitated travel? Could it be a reflection of historical ties, bonds forged through shared experiences and mutual support over generations? Or is there a more profound, less visible factor at play, perhaps related to stringent security measures, intelligence sharing pacts, or demographic trends? The criteria for inclusion in the U.S. Visa Waiver Program are multifaceted, involving assessments of a country's economic stability, passport security, border control effectiveness, law enforcement cooperation, counter-terrorism efforts, and crucially, low rates of visa overstays and immigration violations among its citizens traveling to the U.S. It is a complex equation involving trust, reciprocity, and rigorous security standards, constantly evaluated and subject to change based on the shifting global landscape and bilateral relations. And here is a truly intriguing element. Some of the nations currently enjoying this visa-free access were not even part of this select group just a year or so ago. Their recent inclusion raises fascinating questions about the dynamic nature of international diplomacy and security partnerships. Who successfully navigated the rigorous vetting process to gain entry into this exclusive club, and perhaps more tellingly, who remains on the outside looking in, still subject to the traditional visa application grind? The list of countries with visa-free access is not static. It evolves, reflecting changes in geopolitical alignments, security landscapes, and economic conditions. You might find yourself quite surprised by the identities of the countries that have recently made the cut, joining the ranks of long-standing allies, and perhaps equally surprised by those still waiting for their invitation. Let us delve into the specifics and uncover the 10 countries whose citizens are poised to enjoy U.S. visa-free travel privileges in the year 2025, exploring the intricate web of factors that earned them this coveted status. This exploration reveals much about the current state of international relations and the criteria that Washington prioritizes in its travel policies. Romania stands as a compelling example of this dynamic process. For many years, Romanians watched as citizens from neighboring European nations traveled freely to the United States, while they themselves faced the cumbersome visa application process. They endured decades of waiting, navigating bureaucratic requirements and hoping for a policy shift that seemed perpetually out of reach. This period was marked by a sense of disparity, as Romania, despite being a member of the European Union and a NATO ally, remained outside the circle of countries granted visa-free entry. The reasons were complex, often tied to metrics concerning visa overstay rates and meeting stringent U.S. security protocols. Diplomatic efforts were ongoing, but progress was slow, requiring persistent negotiation and demonstrable improvements in various areas mandated by the VWP criteria. The anticipation within Romania grew with each passing year, fueled by the desire for easier travel for tourism, business, family visits, and educational opportunities. The wait underscored the significant hurdles countries must overcome to qualify for the Visa Waiver Program, highlighting that membership is not automatic even for established allies. But then, entering 2025, a significant transformation occurred. Something fundamental shifted in the bilateral relationship and in Romania's measured progress against the program's benchmarks. After years of concerted effort, diplomatic maneuvering, and crucial internal reforms aimed at meeting the strict U.S. requirements, particularly regarding security cooperation, passport technology, and reducing visa refusal and overstay rates below the critical 3% threshold, Romania achieved its long-sought goal. Romania has officially joined the prestigious U.S. Visa Waiver Program, marking a pivotal moment in its relationship with the United States and opening new doors for its citizens. This development is not merely a travel convenience. It is a game changer, symbolizing a deeper level of trust and partnership. The inclusion of Romania in the Visa Waiver Program signifies a major shift, allowing Romanian citizens holding biometric passports to visit America for tourism or business purposes for stays of up to 90 days without needing a traditional visa. This eliminates the need for embassy appointments, interviews, and the associated waiting periods and fees that characterized the previous system. Instead, Romanian travelers now only need to obtain approval through the Electronic System for Travel Authorization, ESTA, a relatively simple online application process. This streamlined procedure drastically reduces the complexity and time required to plan a trip to the U.S. The journey to this point was arduous. You would be astounded by the duration and intensity of Romania's efforts. It involved more than a decade of persistent diplomatic engagement, a continuous back and forth between Bucharest and Washington. Romania had to demonstrate unwavering commitment to meeting the United States' rigorous security standards, including enhanced law enforcement cooperation, robust counterterrorism measures, and advanced data-sharing protocols. Furthermore, significant investments were made to upgrade passport security features to comply with U.S. specifications, ensuring the integrity of travel documents. Meeting the low visa overstay rate threshold was another critical hurdle that required sustained effort and demonstrable results. This achievement reflects not only Romania's progress, but also the strategic importance the U.S. places on its relationship with this key Eastern European ally. The implications extend beyond tourism, fostering stronger business ties, facilitating educational exchanges, and simplifying family visits. thereby strengthening the people-to-people connections between the two nations. It is a testament to Romania's perseverance and its successful alignment with stringent international security and travel norms. Now, let's consider the broader context which makes Romania's inclusion even more noteworthy. Romania holds the distinction of being the first new European Union member state added to the Visa Waiver Program in several years. This naturally prompts the question, why now? What specific factors precipitated this change after such a prolonged period of waiting? Was it a culmination of meeting statistical benchmarks, a shift in geopolitical priorities, or a combination of both? The timing likely reflects Romania's successful reduction of its non-immigrant visa refusal rate to below the required 3% threshold, a key statutory requirement for VWP designation. It also signals Washington's recognition of Romania's enhanced security cooperation and its strategic role in Eastern Europe, particularly amidst evolving regional dynamics. What does this development indicate about the future trajectory of global travel policies and international alignments? Romania's entry suggests that the VWP remains a dynamic tool of U.S. foreign policy, capable of expanding to include countries that meet its strict criteria, even those with complex histories. If a nation that was once under stringent communist rule, navigating decades of political and economic transformation, can successfully earn this level of trust and integrate into such a privileged travel arrangement, it sends a powerful message. It demonstrates that significant political and security reforms can pave the way for closer integration with key Western partners. This raises the intriguing possibility: who might be next in line? Could other nations, currently undergoing similar transformations or strengthening their ties with the U.S., be candidates for future VWP inclusion? This single edition is not just about simplifying travel for Romanians. It is a case study in national transformation, strategic partnership, and the intricate dance of international trust building. And believe us, the next country on our list will undoubtedly raise even more eyebrows due to its unique geopolitical position and recent rapid ascent into this exclusive club. Moving to the Middle East, we encounter Qatar, another nation whose inclusion in the U.S. Visa Waiver Program marks a significant diplomatic development. Geographically, Qatar is diminutive, smaller in land area than the state of Connecticut. However, its global influence punches far above its weight. Fueled by vast natural gas reserves, Qatar has cultivated significant economic power and plays a crucial role in regional diplomacy and international finance. Its influence extends through major investments worldwide, ownership of prominent global brands, and hosting major international events, most notably the FIFA World Cup in 2022. This small peninsula nation has become a major player on the world stage, wielding considerable soft power and maintaining complex relationships with various global actors. And now, something even more substantial has transpired regarding its relationship with the United States concerning travel. Qatar recently achieved a milestone, becoming only the second Muslim-majority nation ever to be designated for participation in the U.S. Visa Waiver Program. The first was Brunei, admitted decades ago. This is a truly remarkable development, underscoring the unique and strategically vital relationship between Doha and Washington. That is correct. For Qatari citizens, the path to visiting the U.S. for short stays has been dramatically simplified. No traditional visa application, no consulate interviews are required anymore. All that is needed is a straightforward ESTA approval. This decision sent ripples through diplomatic circles, signifying a deep level of trust and strategic alignment rarely extended to nations in the region. It reflects Qatar's critical role as a major non-NATO ally, hosting the largest U.S. military base in the Middle East, Al Udeid Air Base, and its significant cooperation on counterterrorism and regional security initiatives. One might typically expect long-standing, decades-old allies with deep historical roots and shared democratic values to be the primary recipients of such privileged access to the United States. The Visa Waiver Program has historically included close partners like the United Kingdom, Australia, Japan, and many European nations. However, Qatar's inclusion represents a departure from this traditional pattern, highlighting the evolving nature of U.S. strategic priorities. Qatar received this expedited access, effectively fast-tracked into the program in 2024. This swift inclusion was attributed to several key factors. Firstly, Qatar demonstrated significant enhancements to its security protocols, meeting the stringent requirements set forth by the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. This included the implementation of advanced biometric screening systems for travelers and strengthened cooperation on counter-terrorism measures. Secondly, the existing close defense relationship played a crucial role. Qatar's status as a major non-NATO ally and its hosting of vital U.S. military installations provided a strong foundation of trust and mutual security interests. The close collaboration between Qatari and U.S. defense and intelligence agencies further solidified this partnership. What makes this development even more intriguing is how quietly it unfolded. Many Americans, and indeed people around the world, remain largely unaware that this significant shift in visa policy occurred. What precisely does it take for a nation, particularly one outside the traditional circle of Western allies, to bypass the standard U.S. visa system? And why is this level of trust, enabling visa-free travel, extended only to a very select few countries across the globe? The inclusion of Qatar challenges conventional assumptions about the VWP and signals a U.S. foreign policy that prioritizes strategic partnerships and security cooperation, sometimes even alongside differing political systems. Qatar's addition to the Visa Waiver Program fundamentally alters the narrative surrounding eligibility. It proves that contemporary strategic importance, particularly in defense and counter-terrorism cooperation, can be as influential as long-standing historical alliances or shared political ideologies in securing this privileged status. This development indicates that global partnerships are fluid and evolving in real time, shaped by current geopolitical realities and mutual interests. The fact that a Gulf state, a monarchy with a unique political structure, can receive the green light for visa-free travel is a testament to the strength and perceived reliability of its security measures and its indispensable role as a U.S. partner in a volatile region. If Qatar can achieve this, who else might be quietly positioning themselves, strengthening their security frameworks and diplomatic ties, hoping to knock on the door of the Visa Waiver Program? This situation prompts a reevaluation of the factors that truly matter for VWP inclusion. Is it primarily about security cooperation, economic interdependence, historical loyalty, or a complex interplay of all these elements? Qatar's example suggests that robust security partnerships and strategic alignment can create pathways previously considered unlikely. Before we proceed to the next established member of this exclusive club, please take a moment to hit that subscribe button. Supporting our channel allows us to continue bringing you these in-depth analyses, uncovering the real stories and the intricate details behind major global headlines, free from the usual media fluff. Let's continue uncovering the truth together. Your engagement helps us grow and keep these important conversations going. Let's turn our attention down under to Australia, a nation whose relationship with the United States provides a stark contrast to the more recent VWP additions. For citizens of many countries, navigating the process to enter the United States feels akin to attempting to crack an impenetrable safe. It involves assembling layers upon layers of documentation, enduring probing interviews, paying significant fees, and often facing months of uncertain waiting, with no guarantee of success. The bureaucratic hurdles can seem insurmountable, a complex maze designed to filter and scrutinize. However, for Australians, the experience is vastly different. Australia has enjoyed the privilege of visa-free access to the United States for an extended period, spanning over 3 decades. This long-standing arrangement places Australia among the charter members of the modern Visa Waiver Program framework. That is correct. Since 1996, when the program was formalized in its current iteration requiring ESTA, Australians planning short trips for tourism or business have generally only needed approval via the electronic system for travel authorization. This eliminates the need for traditional visa applications, consulate queues, and embassy appointments. A quick online form, submitted in advance of travel, is typically all that stands between an Australian citizen and a visit to the States, whether for critical business meetings, cross-country road trips, or even a spontaneous weekend getaway to New York City. This ease of access reflects a deep, historical bond between the two nations, built on shared values, language, and decades of close cooperation. However, the depth of this privilege runs much deeper than mere travel convenience, and it would likely surprise many to understand the foundations upon which it rests. Australia's inclusion in the Visa Waiver Program is not simply a matter of goodwill or shared Anglosphere heritage. It is intrinsically linked to a profound level of mutual trust and an intricate web of security and intelligence partnerships. This privilege is rooted in legacy and ongoing strategic alignment. The United States and Australia are not just allies, they are core military partners, bound by the ANZUS Treaty and participating jointly in numerous defense initiatives globally. Beyond military cooperation, they are integral members of the Five Eyes Intelligence Sharing Alliance, a highly exclusive network that also includes the United Kingdom, Canada, and New Zealand. This alliance represents the highest level of intelligence collaboration, involving the exchange of sensitive signals intelligence and other critical security information. Only these 5 nations enjoy this level of ingrained trust and information access with each other. Furthermore, the US and Australia boast a robust free trade agreement and extensive economic collaboration across various sectors. Therefore, the visa-free travel arrangement is a reflection and a facilitator of this multifaceted, deeply integrated relationship. It is not just about simplifying tourism. It is about enabling the seamless movement of people necessary to sustain complex economic, diplomatic, and security partnerships that have been cultivated over generations. It is access born from decades of proven reliability and shared strategic outlook. While the process for Australians appears remarkably simple compared to the hurdles faced by citizens of non-VWP countries, it is crucial to understand that this access is not unconditional or taken for granted. Even with decades of visa-free travel history, Australia and its citizens are still held to rigorous standards. The ESTA authorization itself requires periodic renewal, typically every 2 years, or sooner if the traveler's passport expires. Strict passport requirements remain in place, necessitating biometric e-passports for VWP travel. Furthermore, travel patterns and security compliance are subject to tight monitoring by U.S. authorities. Any perceived increase in risk, such as a rise in overstay rates or security concerns, could potentially jeopardize Australia's continued participation in the program. This underscores the fact that the privilege, while long-standing, is earned and actively maintained through ongoing cooperation and adherence to evolving U.S. security protocols. Millions of individuals around the globe are denied U.S. visas annually for various reasons, highlighting the exclusivity of the VWP. Australians move through the U.S. entry system with an ease that seems almost tailor-made for them, and in many respects, reflecting the deep integration between the two societies, it practically is. Why is this level of access reserved for such a select group? What specific qualities and commitments does the U.S. demand? It boils down to a proven long-term track record of trust, security cooperation, economic partnership, and political stability, a legacy Australia shares with only a handful of nations. If the Australian example, built on decades of deep alliance, surprised you, wait until you hear about the next country, a nation whose VWP status is equally rooted in post-war history and strategic importance. Now, let us journey across the Pacific to Japan, another cornerstone member of the Visa Waiver Program, and one of the most technologically advanced nations on Earth. Renowned for its innovation, precision engineering, and economic dynamism, Japan's global footprint is immense. Yet, beyond its high-tech image and cultural influence, lies a travel privilege that might surprise many. Japan also belongs to the select group of nations whose citizens can enter the United States for short stays with remarkable ease, largely bypassing the standard visa bureaucracy that challenges travelers from much of the world. Japanese citizens have been beneficiaries of the U.S. Visa Waiver Program since 1988, making Japan one of the very first countries granted this status under the program's initial iterations. This early inclusion, preceding even some long-standing European allies, speaks volumes about the strategic relationship forged between the US and Japan in the post-World War II era. For over 3.5 decades, Japanese nationals traveling for tourism or business for up to 90 days have faced virtually no visa hurdles, requiring only an ESTA authorization. But why was Japan granted this access so early, and what maintains its position in this exclusive group? The reasons are deeply intertwined with the unique historical trajectory and enduring strategic partnership between Tokyo and Washington. How did Japan earn this level of trust relatively soon after a period of intense conflict? The answer lies in the rapid post-war transformation of Japan into a stable democracy, a major economic powerhouse, and a crucial U.S. ally in East Asia. The foundation of Japan's Visa Waiver Program status rests on a comprehensive post-war alliance that evolved into something far deeper than a simple security pact. It encompasses robust economic partnerships, extensive technological collaboration, and critical military alignment. Japan is not just a trading partner. It is America's fourth-largest trading partner globally, with massive flows of goods, services, and investment linking the two economies. Beyond trade, there is deep cooperation in scientific research, technological development, and innovation. Militarily, the U.S.-Japan Security Treaty remains a cornerstone of peace and stability in the Indo-Pacific region. You would likely be astonished to learn that Japan hosts over 50,000 U.S. military personnel stationed across strategic bases like Yokota and Okinawa. This significant U.S. military presence is larger than in any other country in Asia and underscores the depth of the defense relationship. Tens of thousands of Japanese tourists and business travelers visit the U.S. every single year, further strengthening cultural and economic ties. In the year 2023 alone, nearly 3.8 million Japanese citizens visited the United States, facilitated by the ease of VWP travel. This massive volume of travel highlights the importance of the program in maintaining strong people-to-people connections. Yet, despite this ease of access, one might assume such freedom is commonplace for advanced economies. It is not. Japan's early and sustained presence in the VWP highlights just how exceptional and valuable this level of bilateral trust truly is, built over decades of strategic cooperation and mutual reliance. Let's confront the central question again. In a global environment where visa regulations often become stricter, not more lenient, why does Japan continue to hold this golden ticket for U.S. travel? Is it primarily due to its unwavering political stability, its immense economic power, or a unique combination of factors specific to the U.S.-Japan relationship? While Japan's economic strength and stable democracy are certainly contributing factors, the longevity of its VWP status points towards the deep, multifaceted nature of the alliance. It is built on decades of proven cooperation across security, economic, and diplomatic spheres. The sheer volume of U.S. military personnel hosted, the intricate economic interdependence, and shared strategic interests in the Indo-Pacific region all contribute to a relationship where a high degree of trust is paramount. However, whatever the precise weighting of these factors, one reality is undeniable. When assessing international mobility and ease of access to the United States, Japan occupies a privileged position at the VIP table, a status it has maintained for decades through consistent alignment and cooperation. Before we shift our focus back to Europe, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Your support is vital for us to continue producing these deep dives, bringing you the facts, the context, and the real reasons behind complex global policies, insights often overlooked by mainstream sources. Let us continue this journey of uncovering what others miss. Returning to Europe, we examine France, a nation synonymous with romance, culture, and global influence. You have undoubtedly heard its name mentioned countless times, perhaps dreaming of a Parisian getaway, or admiring its role as a global fashion capital. France is a country that captures the imagination. However, what frequently goes unnoticed by the casual observer is the remarkable ease with which French citizens can travel to the United States, enjoying one of the most privileged travel arrangements in the world. France, like Japan and Australia, has been a long-standing participant in the U.S. Visa Waiver Program, benefiting from visa-free access for decades. This means that for French nationals planning trips for tourism or business lasting up to 90 days, the typically arduous process of obtaining a U.S. visa is bypassed. Instead, they rely on the streamlined ESTA application. But this access is far more than just a nod to croissants and high culture. It is deeply rooted in history, diplomacy, and strategic alignment. The relationship between France and the United States, while occasionally complex, is one of the oldest diplomatic partnerships for both nations, dating back to the American Revolution. This deep-rooted history, coupled with France's significant role in international affairs as a permanent member of the UN Security Council, a nuclear power, and a leading member of the European Union and NATO, forms the bedrock of the trust required for VWP participation. France's inclusion in the Visa Waiver Program is not merely ceremonial. It reflects tangible, ongoing cooperation. It is built upon deep-seated historical connections, robust diplomatic ties, and a level of mutual trust enjoyed by very few nations on Earth. However, it is crucial to remember that this privilege was not automatically guaranteed simply by being a major European power. The U.S. Visa Waiver Program imposes strict, non-negotiable standards that all participating countries must continuously meet. These include maintaining high passport security standards, typically involving biometric e-passports, comprehensive data sharing agreements related to security and law enforcement, maintaining low visa overstay rates among its citizens, and close cooperation on intelligence matters and counter-terrorism efforts. France has consistently met these demanding requirements, ticking every box necessary for continued participation. You might be surprised to learn just how frequently French citizens utilize this visa-free access. In 2023, more than 1.8 million French travelers entered the United States without needing a traditional visa. This substantial flow of people facilitates study, trade, tourism, and crucial government partnerships. The U.S.-France connection is not just friendly, it is profoundly strategic. The two nations collaborate closely within NATO, on counter-terrorism initiatives, in international economic forums, and even in complex ventures like space exploration. It is no coincidence that France, with its extensive global influence and deep diplomatic reach, was among the first wave of countries trusted with visa-free entry privileges. Yet the landscape of the Visa Waiver Program is selective. While France enjoys this status, not all European Union countries have made the list, highlighting that membership is based on individual merit and bilateral trust, not just regional affiliation. This begs the question: why France specifically? Why not other EU nations that might appear equally developed or secure? What sets France apart in the eyes of U.S. policymakers regarding visa-free travel? Is it the sheer weight of its diplomatic influence, its critical role in military collaborations like NATO, or perhaps that unique blend of historical significance and modern strategic trust? While the exact formula remains complex, the outcome is clear. France didn't just earn its VWP privilege decades ago. It has successfully maintained it through constant updates to security measures and consistent adherence to bilateral agreements. This privilege facilitates not only tourism, but also the essential movement of people underpinning a deep and multifaceted strategic alliance. If you find these explorations of global dynamics compelling, remember that subscribing helps our channel continue to deliver these unique insights, revealing the stories behind the headlines that often go untold. We have more deep dives into global policy coming soon, so stay tuned. Now let's consider Germany, Europe's economic engine, and a powerhouse of engineering and precision. Germany is renowned globally for its industrial might, technological innovation, and stable political system. Its influence resonates across the continent and beyond. But alongside its reputation for efficiency and economic strength, Germany excels in another, perhaps less discussed arena that directly impacts millions of its citizens each year: ease of travel to the United States. Like France, Japan, and Australia, Germany is a long-standing member of the U.S. Visa Waiver Program. German citizens are among the select few globally whose people can step foot in the United States for short stays without ever holding a traditional U.S. visa. This might seem routine for such a prominent nation, but it is a privilege nonetheless. Germany has been part of the US VWP since its early stages, reflecting the deep post-war reconciliation and the subsequent development of a robust transatlantic partnership. This access, facilitated by the ESTA system for stays up to 90 days, did not come without cost or effort. Behind the scenes are layers of intricate agreements involving intelligence sharing, mutual defense strategies through NATO, and one of the most significant bilateral economic relationships on the planet. Germany is a crucial trading partner for the US, and vice versa, with massive investment flows and corporate ties linking the two economies. Germany's continued participation in the Visa Waiver Program hinges on its consistent adherence to strict criteria. This includes maintaining state-of-the-art passport security, complying with US entry monitoring protocols, ensuring low visa overstay rates among its travelers, and actively participating in data-sharing agreements crucial for international security. That this privilege is maintained signifies ongoing trust and cooperation. You would likely be shocked to discover the sheer volume of travel this facilitates. In 2023, nearly 2 million Germans traveled to the United States, leveraging the visa-free system. This massive flow supports tourism, strengthens business ties, enables academic exchange, and underpins the close political relationship. From tech collaborations in areas like renewable energy and automotive innovation to cultural exchanges that bridge the Atlantic, the US-Germany connection runs deep. Furthermore, the US maintains a significant military presence in Germany, with over 40,000 troops stationed there to this day, a legacy of the Cold War that has evolved into a cornerstone of NATO's European defense posture. This enduring military alliance fosters a level of trust and interdependence that is reflected in policies like the Visa Waiver Program. This long-standing trust is not accidental. It is built on decades of shared values, security cooperation, and economic integration. However, the question persists. In a world where security concerns often lead to tighter border controls, why does Germany consistently remain at the top of the trusted list for visa-free US travel? Is it purely its economic clout, its established track record of democratic stability, or its central role in European security via NATO? Does its reliability in international forums and consistent compliance with security protocols play the deciding role? While all these factors contribute, Germany's position likely stems from the sheer depth and breadth of its relationship with the United States, a partnership that encompasses security, economics, politics, and culture. It demonstrates that while the world changes, long-term, reliable alliances backed by tangible cooperation remain highly valued by US policymakers. Germany stands as a prime example of how a nation can leverage its stability, economic power, and commitment to international norms to secure and maintain privileged access for its citizens. This is not just about travel. It is about being recognized as a key, trusted partner on the global stage. Germany's inclusion highlights that the VWP is reserved for nations demonstrating a consistent, multi-decade commitment to security standards and bilateral cooperation. If you are finding this analysis of global travel policies and the underlying geopolitics insightful, subscribing to our channel ensures you won't miss future explorations. We delve into the complexities often glossed over, providing context and understanding. Let's pivot to another technologically advanced nation with seamless US travel access, South Korea. Known for its vibrant K-pop culture, cutting-edge electronics, and rapid economic development, South Korea is a dynamic force in East Asia. It is also one of the most digitally connected societies on Earth, where high-speed internet access is ubiquitous, and the urban skyline seems to reinvent itself constantly. However, beneath the surface of this fast-paced modernity lies a travel privilege that many might not fully appreciate. South Korea also holds a coveted spot in the US Visa Waiver Program, granting its citizens one of the easiest pathways into the United States among Asian nations. South Korea officially joined the VWP in 2008, a move that had a massive and immediate impact on travel between the two countries. Since then, millions of South Koreans have traveled to America without the need for a traditional visa, requiring only the standard ESTA authorization for stays up to 90 days for tourism or business. This inclusion was a significant acknowledgement of South Korea's development, its robust security measures, and its crucial role as a strategic US ally. What earned South Korea this access? It certainly was not just about tourism or trade, though both are substantial. It is deeply rooted in decades of strategic alignment and mutual defense commitments. The U.S.-South Korea alliance, forged during the Korean War, remains a bedrock of regional security. The strategic importance of the U.S.-South Korea relationship cannot be overstated. To this day, around 28,000 U.S. troops are stationed in South Korea, serving as a deterrent force and underscoring the mutual defense treaty that has been in place since 1953. This military alliance ensures a high level of security cooperation and intelligence sharing. South Korea's inclusion in the VWP was also a direct result of its significant technological advancements, particularly in developing secure biometric passports and its commitment to complying with global security standards and U.S. vetting protocols. The country worked diligently to meet requirements related to information sharing and maintaining low visa overstay rates. The impact has been profound. In 2023 alone, over 2.3 million South Koreans visited the U.S., utilizing the VWP for tourism, education, and business ventures. This number surpasses the visitor figures from most European VWP countries, highlighting the strong ties and high demand for travel. This visa waiver inclusion was also a response to South Korea's remarkable economic growth and its adherence to international travel security norms. From implementing advanced biometric passports early on to cooperating on real-time traveler vetting, South Korea met every stringent demand laid out by the U.S., solidifying its position as a trusted partner. Despite being situated in one of the most geopolitically tense regions on the planet, directly facing North Korea, South Korea has successfully maintained one of the lowest visa overstay rates among all Visa Waiver Program participants. This consistent compliance is a critical factor in retaining VWP status and serves as a testament to the reliability of South Korean travelers and the effectiveness of the country's own immigration controls and security cooperation with the U.S. This achievement underscores that VWP status is not just granted, but continuously earned through demonstrated adherence to the program's rules and spirit. It is a remarkable feat, highlighting the country's stability and its citizens' respect for international travel regulations, even amidst regional volatility. This isn't merely about facilitating K-pop tourism or business trips for electronics executives. It's about recognizing a vital, long-term strategic partner that consistently meets the highest standards of security and cooperation demanded by the United States for inclusion in this exclusive travel arrangement. So, the next time you encounter a traveler breezing through U.S. customs without a visa sticker in their passport, they might just be from South Korea, benefiting from a privilege earned through decades of strategic alignment and proven reliability. Let's journey to the vibrant city-state of Singapore, a global hub for finance, trade, and innovation. Despite its small geographical size, covering just over 280 square miles, Singapore commands an enormous global reputation. It is a powerhouse in international commerce, known for its efficiency, stability, and strategic location. This island nation isn't just one of Asia's key financial centers. It is also part of the elite group of countries whose citizens enjoy visa-free access to the United States. Singapore has been a participant in the U.S. Visa Waiver Program since 1999, and its inclusion speaks volumes about its international standing and relationship with Washington. This status allows Singaporean passport holders to travel to the U.S. for tourism or business for up to 90 days, using only an ESTA authorization, bypassing the traditional visa application process entirely. You would likely be surprised to learn just how rare this status is, particularly within Southeast Asia. In fact, Singapore stands alone as the only country in the entire region granted VWP privileges. Why Singapore? What sets it apart from its neighbors? The answer lies in a unique combination of factors that few nations can replicate: unparalleled stability, world-class security infrastructure, and a deep, multifaceted partnership with the United States that extends across economic, diplomatic, and security domains. Singapore's success in securing and maintaining VWP status is built on a foundation of rigorous compliance and proven trustworthiness. The country had to meet, and continues to meet, stringent requirements set by the U.S. This includes the implementation of highly secure electronic passports, with biometric features, robust information sharing agreements with U.S. law enforcement and intelligence agencies, and effective border control policies. Singapore's passport is consistently ranked among the most powerful in the world, granting its holders access to numerous countries visa-free, reflecting global confidence in its travel documents. Furthermore, Singaporean travelers are known for their exceptionally high compliance with international travel regulations, boasting very low visa overstay rates in the U.S. The benefits of this visa-free arrangement are substantial and mutual. In 2023, over 400,000 Singaporean travelers visited the U.S., a huge number considering Singapore's population of just under 6 million. This facilitates not only tourism, but also significant business travel, academic exchanges, and investment flows. Singapore is a major trading partner and hosts the regional headquarters for countless U.S. multinational corporations. Additionally, the U.S. and Singapore share close military ties, including access agreements for U.S. naval vessels and aircraft, further cementing the strategic partnership. Singapore's ability to meet the demanding VWP criteria, requiring advanced electronic passports, data sharing, and consistent border control, while being the sole representative from its region, underscores its unique position. What broader conclusions can we draw from Singapore's VWP status? It highlights that while regional proximity might seem relevant, the core requirements revolve around security, stability, economic integration, and proven reliability. Singapore has passed these stringent tests with flying colors. Its VWP inclusion is not just about facilitating travel for tourists heading to Disneyland or executives closing deals on Wall Street. It is about acknowledging a highly developed, secure, and strategically aligned nation that consistently adheres to international norms. It demonstrates that meeting the high bar set by the VWP, including advanced passport technology, effective information sharing, and stringent border controls, is achievable, albeit challenging. Singapore's case proves that a nation's commitment to security, rule of law, and international cooperation can earn it privileges that transcend geographical limitations. If you are appreciating these deep dives into the world of international travel and diplomacy, hitting the subscribe button helps us continue to bring you these analyses, exploring the factors that shape global mobility. We uncover the stories often missed in mainstream reporting. Trust us, the next country on our list, located in a completely different hemisphere, might be the one you least expect to hold this exclusive pass. Now, let's travel across the globe to South America, a continent vibrant with diverse cultures and growing economies. You might assume that geographical proximity would lead to easier travel access between nations within the Americas and the United States. However, the reality of the U.S. Visa Waiver Program presents a fascinating twist. Among all the nations in Latin America, only one country has successfully navigated the complex requirements to achieve VWP status. That nation is Chile. This distinction makes Chile unique on the continent, setting it apart from neighbors like Argentina, Brazil, Colombia, and Peru, whose citizens still require traditional visas for U.S. travel. Chile is the sole South American representative in the exclusive U.S. Visa Waiver Program Club. This means Chilean citizens holding the necessary biometric passports can visit the United States for tourism or business for up to 90 days, simply by obtaining an ESTA authorization online. This streamlined process eliminates the need for lengthy embassy visits and visa interviews. You might be shocked to realize that even major economic giants in the region, like Brazil and Argentina, have not secured this privilege. What makes Chile different? How did this nation, located thousands of miles from Washington, D.C., crack the code that has eluded all its continental neighbors? The answer lies not in proximity, but in consistency, stability, and a demonstrated commitment to meeting rigorous international standards over an extended period. Chile's journey into the Visa Waiver Program was officially completed in 2014, making it a relatively recent addition compared to long-standing members like Japan or Germany. But its inclusion was the culmination of years of dedicated effort. Since then, the impact on travel and bilateral relations has been substantial. In 2023 alone, over 360,000 Chilean citizens entered the United States without needing a traditional visa. This number includes business owners forging trade links, students pursuing higher education, tourists exploring American landmarks, and tech innovators collaborating with U.S. counterparts. This free flow of people is facilitated by Chile's success in meeting the strict VWP requirements. These include maintaining high standards for passport security, implementing robust data sharing agreements with the U.S. for security purposes, achieving and maintaining low visa overstay rates, and cooperating on law enforcement matters. Chile has demonstrated consistent adherence to these crucial benchmarks. Perhaps most significantly, Chile has cultivated and maintained one of the most stable and enduring democracies in Latin America for over 3 decades. This political stability, combined with sound economic management and adherence to the rule of law, built the foundation of trust necessary for VWP consideration. While other nations in the region grappled with periods of internal instability or failed to consistently meet U.S. security and vetting standards, Chile stayed the course, proving its reliability as a partner. So, the persistent question arises again. Why only Chile in all of Latin America? What specific attributes allowed Chile to succeed where others have not yet managed? It boils down to a proven track record. Chile's consistent democratic governance, its relatively stable economy, its willingness and ability to meet stringent security protocols, including biometric passports and information sharing, and its success in keeping visa overstay rates low, all contributed to its successful VWP designation. The U.S. officially recognized these achievements by adding Chile to the program, a decision that reflects confidence in Chile's institutions and its citizens' compliance with travel regulations. This shows that VWP inclusion is not based on regional quotas, but on individual country performance against demanding criteria. While geographical neighbors might seem like obvious candidates, factors like political stability, security cooperation, and economic reliability ultimately carry more weight in Washington's decision-making process. Chile's unique status highlights the rigorous nature of the VWP and the significant national commitment required to join its ranks. Now, for our final country, we return to the Anglosphere, to a nation whose relationship with the U.S. is arguably one of the closest and most historically intertwined, a country whose VWP status feels almost innate. Finally, we arrive at New Zealand, a nation famed for its stunning landscapes, peaceful disposition, and perhaps having more sheep than human inhabitants. Situated remotely in the southwestern Pacific Ocean, New Zealand might seem distant from the centers of global power. However, this tranquil country possesses a passport of remarkable power, granting its citizens travel privileges that are the envy of much of the world. Kiwis, as New Zealanders are affectionately known, can enter the United States with minimal fuss, largely thanks to their country's long-standing membership in the U.S. Visa Waiver Program. New Zealand has enjoyed visa-free access to the United States since 1991, placing it among the earliest beneficiaries of the program alongside close allies. This means that for decades, New Zealanders traveling for tourism or business for periods up to 90 days have typically only needed an approved ESTA application and a valid biometric passport. The process sidesteps the need for traditional visa applications and lengthy consulate appointments, facilitating easy travel. You might be surprised how deeply ingrained this relationship is. The U.S.-New Zealand connection, though tested at times over geopolitical disagreements, is fundamentally strong, built on shared democratic values, cultural ties, and significant security cooperation. New Zealand's reliability and stability have been key factors in its VWP inclusion. Despite its relatively small population of just over 5 million people, New Zealand's participation in the Visa Waiver Program sees significant usage. In 2023, over 230,000 Kiwis visited the United States without requiring a visa. That is a substantial number, representing a significant portion of the population engaging in travel to the U.S., whether for visiting family, pursuing educational opportunities, conducting business, or exploring the country as tourists. This high volume underscores the importance and convenience of the VWP arrangement. But this access is not merely a function of friendly relations. It is underpinned by serious commitments. Like Australia, New Zealand is a core member of the exclusive Five Eyes Intelligence Sharing Alliance, collaborating closely with the US, UK, Canada, and Australia on sensitive security matters. This deep level of intelligence partnership signifies an extraordinary level of trust. Furthermore, New Zealand consistently ranks among the countries with the lowest visa overstay rates in the US, demonstrating a high degree of compliance among its travelers. New Zealand travelers are known for respecting immigration laws, having clean travel records, and cooperating with security protocols, making them ideal candidates for continued visa-free travel privileges. This behavioral aspect is crucial for maintaining VWP status. So, why does this seemingly remote island nation, far removed geographically from Washington, D.C., maintain a level of travel access trusted more than some of America's actual geographical neighbors? The New Zealand example powerfully illustrates that in the calculus of the Visa Waiver Program, shared values, proven security cooperation, and consistent adherence to rules matter far more than simple geography or population size. When a country consistently upholds security standards, engages in reliable diplomacy, and participates actively in global cooperation frameworks like the Five Eyes Alliance, the doors to privileged travel arrangements like the VWP open wide, even across vast oceans. New Zealand's long tenure in the program, since 1991, demonstrates that this is not a fleeting privilege, but one earned and maintained through decades of stability, cooperation, and trust. So there you have it. The 10 nations whose citizens can bypass the standard visa process and enter the United States with relative ease in 2025. From long-standing allies in Europe and Oceania, like Germany, France, Australia, and New Zealand, to key strategic partners in Asia like Japan, South Korea, and Singapore, to the sole South American representative Chile, and recent additions reflecting new geopolitical realities like Qatar and Romania, each country earned its spot. This status was achieved not through luck, but through a complex combination of strategic alignment, demonstrated security commitments, economic integration, political stability, and building decades of trust and cooperation with the United States. These aren't just travel perks. They are reflections of deep global alliances, robust security systems, and significant diplomatic influence. The requirements are stringent. Secure passports, data sharing, low overstay rates, and consistent cooperation, proving that VWP status is a symbol of being a highly trusted international partner. As global dynamics continue to shift, it will be fascinating to see who might join this exclusive club next. Which nations are currently working towards meeting these demanding standards? We hope you found this exploration insightful. If you did, please like this video, share it, and most importantly, subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into global affairs. Let us know in the comments where you are watching from. We love hearing from our global audience. Thanks for watching.